Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis, County, in the state of Tennessee. Today is early Sunday morning, October the 13th, 2019. And first I thank all my family support for your continued encouragement support. This is part 2 of the same video. Like I said before, I started my Periscope video because of time. I wasn't going to run the video like a whole 2 or 3 hours. It take too long to upload, so I ended my first part 1, and this is part 2 of the same video. And so what I'm gonna do now, like I said, it's gonna be dated October the 13th, 2019. This is part 2, and so what I'm gonna do now, I just did my Instagram video, and now I'm finna start my Periscope video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis, County, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, October the 13th, 2019. The time, it's 5:38 a.m. First, I thank all my family support for your continued encouragement support. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now remember these words. These are very serious. Remember these words. Coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. gonna start my Periscope video. Ain't no such thing, no devil worship. And now all that devil worship on the East Coast, and trying to go to Chicago with that devil worship, and see that where that blood gang, that Crip gang came from the people on the East Coast. So you can't. There ain't no such thing in Chicago, Illinois. There's no blood gang, no Crip gang. Ain't no such thing. You know what I'm saying? Now drill. Now this is the top 10 Ciroc drill rappers that's been killed. And so hold on. Ain't no such thing in Chicago, Illinois. Ain't no such thing. There's no such thing, no blood gang, no Crip gang in Chicago, no such thing. Ain't no such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang in Chicago or North. See, there be no people on the East Coast. Then when you try to come up to Chicago and North, see, then out there in Los Angeles, California, see that where that blood gang, that crip gang came from. It came from them people on the East Coast. See, devil worship on the East Coast. And see, that's them old world secret society from Africa and from East, from Asia and from Europe. Them old world secret society. Ain't no such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang, ain't no such thing. And see, God ain't never allowed no devil worship. God has never accepted, approved, or allowed devil worship. There's no such thing as worship the devil. That's an oxymoron. Devil and worship. That's an oxymoron. Them two words do not go together. It's an oxymoron. Them two words do not go together. They do not go together. But man try to put them two words together. They do not go together. It's an oxymoron. Now, that street slang, gonna continue to play and speak out a little gang and mob, look, Merriam-Webster Third New International Dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary, complete total definition, meaning word gang and mob, and any other word. Look, all that street slang, boss, goon, thug, crook, hoodlum, mac, player, pimp, or hustler, nigga. Street slang. Ain't nothing official, ain't nothing right about no street slang. When it comes to music like hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop, and street slang. When it comes to money, currency exchange, we can go to the quick reference Wikipedia. We can look up money, currency exchange, street slang, bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dose, scratch, loop, moolah, Benjamin, dead president. Street slang. Ain't nothing official right about no street slang. Now, you got education. Graduated high school, got a few years of college. Some people don't have that much schooling, but they earn a GED. Then they can still go to college, earn a social degree, bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD with a GED. Then you have those people who did finish school, earned a high school diploma, then they took the ACT, SAT, went on to college, earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD, the sorority fraternity. Now, that's the reason why the 13th continent history, the pre-13th continent history is so important. Don't negate the pre-13th continent history. Now, Harvard University, the oldest institute in higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, is the second oldest institute of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776, the College of William Mary, recognized the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. The first fraternity, women's fraternity, DuPont College, 18-something. The basis of the sorority fraternity is the old world secret society. From the old world, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe. For example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons. They talk about Euclid, the mathematician lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Holloway manuscript, the Regent's poem, the Cook manuscript. The Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society. Skull and Bones, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Living, Thug Society, Private Society, Ordo Templar Oriented, Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arab Order, known to the Mixed Shrine, that proved Order Red, Piosa to the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Loyal Order Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pathiah, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, Forest Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil Prophet, of the Enchanted Ram, the United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druid National Grain, the Ancient Order of Herman Names, the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, and just a few. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonarian, the Black Hand, the Mafia, you say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris, and just a few. Now, don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Whatever you do, don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Look, the United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime. The sorority and fraternity use hazing in their initiation rituals, devil worship. The sorority and fraternity commit crimes on and off the campus. They use and abuse tobacco products. They indulge in gambling and games of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities. They indulge in sexual deviance and pride. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. Get out of the sorority fraternity. Don't join the sorority fraternity. Discourage others from having any involvement in the sorority fraternity. Expose the sorority fraternity. Renounce all those persons that initiated and started the sorority fraternity, them old world secret society. Renounce them. Denounce the whole concept, the idea of sorority fraternity and them old world secret society. Denounce them. Now, the sorority fraternity, they work and they manage the businesses, the companies, the corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities, violations of human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, nature, and wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. Don't be misled. Now this is the International Bill of Human Rights. This is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. Now this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. This This is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. There's some more organizations such as Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Center for Human Rights, Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Board, Earth Watch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice and Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, the Biodiversity Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, the Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society. Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. There are many more. There's just a few. There are many more. And so, don't be misled by the sorority return. There's many more organizations. Don't be misled. Now, Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, the liar, the murderer, the devil. And he wrote all those epistles and he called himself an apostle. He wasn't lying. He wasn't no apostle. He wasn't lying. He was an occultist. Now, all these man-made religious organizations, they use those epistles that he wrote. One of the verses that they used, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the Holy Kiss, the church with the suffix ES, churches of Christ salute you. Another verse that the man-made religious organization used is Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul wrote, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory you in the church with the suffix is, churches of God for your patience and faith in all the persecuted tribulation that ye endure. the United States government enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, the RICO Act, is anti-gang. Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, Kingpins, that is all anti-gang. This is the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974, standard the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, as well as other related legislation is anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the Bureau of Justice System Office, the Office of Justice Programming, and the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Programming, the Bureau of Justice System, the United States Department of Justice, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, in Project Safe Neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Policing Service, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Justice of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotic Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education Training, the GREAT Program. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. In October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center compilates state laws against gang prevention overview research program. Then Mr. James E. the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin. And the title of that bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States. You can also go to the quick reference, Wikipedia. You can find the same information titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of the United States Attorney Man 1457, Criminal Street Gang Statute 18, United States Code 521. The United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau Investigating National Gang Intelligence Center. The United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section, and other federal, state, local aid. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategy, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Prevention and Control, Change of Course, Preventing Gang Membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of House, Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor and the White House Office of National Drug Control by National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and inform about the National Forum, Youth Violence Prevention Forum, as well as Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative and the Comprehensive Gang Model. The United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gang. Also, the United States Department of Justice, anti-hazing. You can go to lawyers.com and be informed about anti-hazing. Now, the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. Matthew chapter 1, verse 18 through 25. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 23. You can go to Luke chapter 1, verse 1 through 8, and Luke chapter 2, verse 1 through 52. The Lord's Supper. Matthew chapter 26, verses 26 through 29. Mark chapter 14, verse 22 through 25. Luke chapter 22, verse 15 through 22. The Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13, and Luke chapter 11, verses 2 through 4. Read the Beatitudes. Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. And you also go to the book of Luke, chapter 6, verses 20 through 49. John the Baptist. Matthew chapter 3, verse 1 through 17, emphasize verse 11 through 17. Mark chapter 1, verse 1 through 11, emphasize verse 7 through 11. Luke chapter 3, verse 1 through 22, emphasize verse 16 through 22. And John chapter 1, verse 15 through 34, emphasize verses 26 through 34. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, teaching in the synagogue. Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. Mark chapter 1, verse 21. Luke chapter 4, verse 15. And John chapter 6, verse 59. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, begins his ministry. Matthew chapter 4, verses 12 through 25, emphasize verses 23 through 25. Mark chapter 1, verse 14 through 45, emphasize verse 14. Verses 39 through 45. Luke chapter 4, verse 14 through 44, emphasize verse 15 and 43 and 44. John chapter 1, verse 35 through 51. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, He chose 12 disciples. Matthew chapter 10, verse 1 through 42. Mark chapter 3, verse 13 through 35. Luke chapter 6, verse 13 through 49. John chapter 6, verses 59 through 71. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, established the one and only church. The one and only church. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. And Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, He gives His apostles commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. The death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 26, verse 1 through 75. Matthew chapter 27, verse 1 through 16, emphasize verse 50. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took His body down from the cross. And also verses 57 through 6. Matthew chapter 28, verse 1 through 20, emphasize verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 14, verse 1 through 17. Mark chapter 15, verse 1 through 47, emphasize verse 37. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took His body down from the cross. Also verses 4 through 47. Mark chapter 16, verse 1 through 20, emphasize verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 22, verse 1 through 71. And Luke chapter 23, verse 1 through 56. Emphasize verse 46. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took His body down from the cross. Also verses 50 through 56. Luke chapter 24, verse 1 through 53. Emphasize verse 4 and verses 44 through 53. John chapter 17, verse 1 through 26. John chapter 18, verse 1 through 4. John chapter 19, verse 1 through 42. Emphasize verse 30. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took His body down from the cross. Also verse 38 and 40 through 42. John chapter 20, verse 1 through 31. And John chapter 21, verse 1 through 25. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, He gives His apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28, verse 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. Now, this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Now, state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says see also. And then you'll see a list of place names of indigenous origin in America. Now, this is piracy. You know, the pirates, see, devil worship. Devil worship. The United States Department of Justice. The Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The Bureau of Justice Assistance. The National Gang Center Bulletin. And the title of that bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States, and it was written by Mr. James C. Howland and Mr. John P. Moore. Now you can find that same information on the quick reference Wikipedia, and it's titled Gangs in the United States. got some more Bible verses. All right. What we got today? All right, today we're going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 8. We're going to read verses 14 through 17. You can also go to the book of Mark, read the same subject, chapter 1, verses 29 through 34. And also, you can go to the book of Luke, and you can, chapter 4, Luke chapter 4, verses 38 through 41. So let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 8, and we're going to read verses 14 through 17. We're in the book of Matthew, chapter 8, and we're going to read verses 14 through 17, and it reads, "And when Jesus was coming to Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of a fever. And he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered unto them. When the evening was come, they brought unto him many that were possessed with devils, and he cast out the spirits with his word, and healed all that was sick, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, Himself took our infirmities and bare our sicknesses." And again, that was the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verses 14 through 17. Mark chapter 1, verse is 29 through 34, and Luke chapter 4, verses 38 through 41. I'm gonna write it down. you talking about that devil worship stuff, these are the verses that you can go to where God show you, then accept, then approve, and don't allow devil worship. Ain't no such thing as God allowing no devil worship. And these come out the Old Testament. And then when you read your New Testament, it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the book of Acts, book of James, book of Hebrews, 1st and 2nd Peter, then the book of John, 1st John, 2nd John, 3rd John, the book of Jude, the book of Revelation. Don't read none of that stuff that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul wrote. All lies. He's a devil worshiper. He's an occultist. But these verses here are verses where God show you don't accept, don't approve, and don't allow devil worship. Ain't no such thing as the East Coast being no base for no devil worship. Ain't no such thing as worship no devil. And as you can see, God don't accept, don't approve, and don't allow devil worship. Don't accept, don't approve, and don't allow devil worship. I don't know why. You see what God telling you? There's only one God. There's only one. Don't accept, don't approve, and don't allow devil worship. No such thing. Never has been, never will be. You coming up here up in Chicago line. You from the East Coast. Well, ain't no such thing, no blood gang, no crib gang. No. But see, that's the New Testament. That's the New Testament. God telling you the devil being punished by God. Ain't no such thing. No such thing worse than the devil. No such thing. Ain't no such thing. Ain't no such thing. Nobody living on the East Coast talking about they over me or anybody else. Talking about you worse than the devil. No. Ain't no such thing as Christian. That's the occult. The word Christian is the occult. this so-called word Christian, this devil worship. It's the occult. That's what I'm telling you. The devil worship. It's the occult. Ain't no such thing as being no Christian. Webster's Third New International Dictionary. The complete total definition and meaning of the word gang, the act, manner, or means of going. Now, their stupid sorority and their stupid fraternity, this is sister. And this is brother. Now this is Oxford English Dictionary, the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang, action or mode of going, way, passage, a set of things or persons. Their stupid sorority and their stupid fraternity. to the end of my video, and these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now, there ain't no such thing as no devil worship. No such, never has been. As you can read Old Testament, New Testament, no such thing. And when you say devil and worship, that's an oxymoron. Devil and worship don't even go together. There's no such thing. The word worship only applies to God. You can't put devil and worship together. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. See, these are lies that people have been telling. People with education lie. See, devil and worship don't even go together. And see, all that Islam and see, people be lying. They don't tell you the truth about the occult. When you see that there were people talking about they worship the devil, and then you see these people coming, they doing prayers and all that, the so-called sorority, that's Islam. That's where Muslim came from. That's where Islam came from. Came from the occult. Those occultists. You ain't gotta waste your time arguing. From this day forward, don't waste your time arguing with people, man. There ain't never been no such thing worse than no devil. Never has been, never will be. Don't waste your time arguing with people. Just keep on walking. Don't ain't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Spend your time doing like you've been doing. Read your Bible. And all this stuff talking about the Bible been tampered with. Man, read your Bible. Read your Bible. Read your Bible. Because the person who be doing it, the people, the personal person who be them be the same people that be walking their butt around, being an occultist. Being an occultist. That's what the occult is. So don't read your Bible. And no such thing as worship no devil. There's stuff on the East Coast. Talking about you're from the East Coast. It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Don't make no difference. Don't care nothing about you being from the East Coast. Worship no devil. You ain't over me or anybody else. But like severe consequences and repercussions. Severe consequences and repercussions. You ain't know about it. You ain't know about it. But I don't like telling nobody. I don't like telling. That never has been my way. I always prefer to show. I don't like telling nobody. You ain't nobody. But and then you see, you try to use that blood gang, that Crip gang to hide. There ain't never been no such thing, no blood gang, no Crip gang in Chicago, Illinois. Never have been, never will be. And to be honest with you, there ain't never been no such thing, no blood gang, no Crip gang in Los Angeles, California. Because there ain't no such thing, no blood gang, no Crip gang. Period. Don't allow. Don't accept. Don't approve. And don't allow. To be honest with you, devil worship. Because them the ones who did it. That's who did it. It was them devil worship. Them the same ones trying to live in Chicago. Them the same ones. And well, as you can see, you don't never get away with trying to live in Chicago. You don't never get away. And me, personally, don't accept, don't approve, and don't allow severe consequences and repercussions. Severe. This is the top 10 Ciroc drill rappers. Now I'm gonna get ready to end today's video. Again, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the state of Tennessee, not on the East Coast. And thank all my fans, my supporters for your continued encouragement, support, and always put God first. There's no such thing as no devil worship. It don't even go together. It's an oxymoron. Devil worship. It don't go. No. It's an oxymoron. There's no such thing. Never has been. It's a lie. It's a lie. Never has been. Worship only applies to God. It only applies to God. It only applies to God. Ain't no such thing, no devil worship on the East Coast like you over me. No. Severe consequence and repercussions. No such thing. No such thing. Never has been, never will be. Ain't no such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang. Severe consequence, retaliate. Get them automatic rifles up there in Chicago. Get them automatic rifles up there in Chicago. Severe consequence, repercussions. Ain't no such thing. Ain't no such thing. Never has been. Never will be. Take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you very, very